In episode 5, the Mandalorian and the child both arrive on Corvus, and it's kind of a dark, miserable planet. Like, imagine Seattle, but like a whole planet of it. He parks his ship in the middle of the woods and starts walking around, seeing if he can pick up some kind of lead as to where this Jedi is. And he comes to a town that is heavily fortified. The guy who seems to be in charge asks what his business is, and the Mandalorian says that he's been tracking for a few days. He's looking for a layover. He's a hunter. He also tells him that he's a part of the guild, and the guy orders to open up the gate. But the Mandalorian starts walking through this town that has guards all over the place, and he goes to ask a shopkeeper some information, but the shopkeeper just leaves. He finds an elderly man that's tending to some children and tells him, I need some information. But the man tells him, please don't speak to them, or to any of us. And that's when 2 guards sneak up behind him and tell him that the magistrate wants to see him. So he goes and meets with her, and she's also behind yet another wall. And she's called him to this meeting because she knows he's a Mandalorian and she has a proposition for him. She tells him that the target is priceless. It's a Jedi. The Jedi is currently stalking the magistrate, and the magistrate wants the Mandalorian to kill her. And if he does that, she's going to hand over this spear made of pure Beskar. Now, he doesn't tell her that he's actually looking for the same Jedi, but just asks, okay, where do I find her? And they give him where they think that she'll be located. So the Mandalorian and the child go off to that location, and it doesn't take long for the Jedi to pop up. And since she hasn't had a real good run-in with people on this planet, she immediately goes into fight mode. Luckily for the Mandalorian, her 2 lightsabers can't penetrate the Beskar, and he's able to get enough space between him and the Jedi to yell, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan sent me. We need to talk. He takes her and shows her the child, and that night lets her interact with the child a little bit. And he asks her, is he speaking to you? Do you understand him? And she says, in a way, Grogu and I can feel each other's thoughts. And Grogu is actually the child's name. She tells him how he was raised at the Jedi Temple in Coruscant. Many masters trained him over the years. But at the end of the Clone Wars, when the Empire rose to power, somebody took him from the temple. After that, his memory becomes dark. She tells the Mandalorian that she's known only one other being like this, a wise old Jedi master named Yoda. She asks the Mandalorian, can he still use the Force? And he tells her, I've seen him do things that I can't explain. He then tells her that he's here because he was supposed to bring him to a Jedi. But unfortunately, she tells him that the Jedi Order fell a long time ago. But he points out, yeah, so did the Empire, and they still hunt him. He needs your help. So that morning, she tests him using a rock, harnessing the Force and floating the rock over to Grogu. But when she wants the rock back, Grogu gets frustrated and just drops it. So she has the Mandalorian try, seeing if maybe Grogu will listen to the Mandalorian. But when Grogu doesn't lift the stone, Ahsoka Tano says we'll try to connect with him. So the Mandalorian pulls out a knob from the ship that Grogu's always trying to get at, and that works. I mean, Grogu uses the power to snatch that thing. And the Mandalorian's pumped because he did it. But Ahsoka Tano, seeing this, says, I can't train him. His attachment to you makes him vulnerable. I've seen what such feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight. And I'm not going to start this child down that path. It's best to just let his powers fade away. She then tries to walk away, but the Mandalorian says, the magistrate sent me to kill you. Now, I didn't agree to anything, and I'll help you with your problem as long as you see to it that Grogu is properly trained. Right before they devise a plan, though, Ahsoka Tano fills him in on who the magistrate actually is, because she doesn't want a Mandalorian heading in there and underestimating her. Her name is Morgan Elsbeth. During the Clone Wars, her people were massacred. Now, she survived, but she used that anger to fuel the industry that built an Imperial Starfleet. And with them, she destroyed worlds. And from the looks of the planet they're on, it looks like this is her latest casualty. She asked the Mandalorian, when you were in the city, did you see any prisoners? And he says, yeah, I saw 3 chained up. And she says, well, we got to find a way to free them. So they devise a plan where Ahsoka Tano heads to the front of the gate and takes out all of the guards. And she does that with little resistance. She ends up going to the town square where the magistrate has met her along with her army behind her, but the magistrate tells the army to not fire. And Ahsoka Tano throws a piece of the Beskar armor from the Mandalorian on the ground and says, your assassin failed. Where is your master? But the magistrate doesn't answer, instructing her men to kill her. And Ahsoka Tano hops up on the rooftops and starts trying to escape, but in the process, dividing the army. Right as the last men are about to leave, she instructs 2 of the guards to execute the prisoners that are chained up. But right before the guards are able to do that, the Mandalorian pops out and kills the 2 soldiers. And along with the help of the old man who told them, please don't talk to any of us, they free the prisoners. Ahsoka Tano, meanwhile, is taking out most of this army by herself. And she's standing on the top of the wall when Lang, the magistrate's number 2, shows up in the town square staring at the Mandalorian. And now he realizes that the Mandalorian and the Jedi are working together. But he's only going to have to square off with the Mandalorian because Ahsoka Tano goes over the wall to confront the Magistrate. And they start battling out, with the Magistrate wielding a pure Beskar spear and Ahsoka Tano wielding her 2 lightsabers. And Lang and the Mandalorian can hear this going on, and Lang says, "I wonder who's going to win, your side or mine." But Ahsoka Tano is able to get the spear away from the Magistrate, putting a lightsaber to her throat and demanding to know, where is her master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? Now, we don't know if she gave up the information, but what we do know is the town was liberated by the Mandalorian and Ahsoka Tano, with that old man being put back in charge. Ahsoka Tano gives the Mandalorian the spear, even though he doesn't think he deserves it because he didn't complete the job, but she tells him, this spear belongs to a Mandalorian, so take it. Now, he was doing all of this without Grogu. Grogu was back in the ship, so he goes to get Grogu to give him to Ahsoka Tano, as per their arrangement. But Ahsoka Tano says, I'm not going to train him. She realized that the Mandalorian is like a father figure to Grogu, and splitting them up might do more harm than good. She says there is a possibility, though. Go to Tython. You'll find the ruins of an ancient temple that has a strong connection to the Force. Put Grogu on the Seeing Stone at the top of the mountain, and after that, Grogu chooses his path. If he reaches out through the Force, there's a chance that a Jedi might sense his presence and come after him, although there aren't many Jedi left. So with that tip, the Mandalorian and Grogu head off, leaving Ahsoka Tano on the planet. Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you don't see the next video up in the corner, don't worry, I'll get it up in a couple days. Hit thumbs up if you liked the video, hit thumbs down if you didn't, and be nice in the comments section.